Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, heard Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on PSA.com and the PSA Facebook page. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by PSA and the National Sports Collectors Convention. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all of your hobby news, features, and more, visit sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now, your hosts, Tom Zappala and Rico Petrocelli.
I'm so excited.
Glad to be back, brother.
So
glad to be
excited.
back.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's good to be back. It's good to be back in the studio with you.
Yes, yeah, it is good. When you Zoom, it's nice, but nothing like being in the studio
next to each
when
other.
You're doing a show.
So I can pick your pocket. Maybe you have some money in your right pocket.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappala and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
Well, thank you.
We've been away from each other since December.
Yeah,
in Florida.
Both in Florida,
Yeah.
and when you get his age, you got to go to Florida. So
in
the winter.
and keep in mind that we both made a decision. Very important decision that we will never freaking drive back from Florida for the rest of our lives.
I'm going to say this, if anybody's watching from there, South Carolina has the worst roads in the history of the United States. I can't believe it. Every year, I said they got to fix them now.
Did you notice, by the way, in South Carolina the roadkill? There was one thing that I saw. I swear to God, it was a combination of a pig and a deer.
A pig and
I couldn't identify it.
Yeah. Wow. I thought you said you saw an ostrich.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
That was at a zoo, though.
I thought it was roadkill.
No.
But
Actually,
anyway.
Chrissy, real quickly, I took my grandson Enzo. We went to this really cool African safari place, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to leave your car windows up because the animals roam.
Oh, yeah.
This freaking ostrich, about 8 feet tall, walks up to the car and starts trying to eat the car. Honest to God.
They're very dangerous.
Crazy. All right, before we bring in, we have a great show today. We've got John Velgos from Cabrella Shipping Insurance. This is a really good concept. John's been on the show before. We're going to talk a little bit about it.
Kangaroos, by the way, they're dangerous, aren't they?
They are.
No.
Yes,
really.
they are. Our main guest, Mike Keys from SCP Auctions. There is a great auction going on. And then the last 10 minutes, we're bringing in our old pal from Heritage Auctions, Joe Orlando.
15 minutes.
Yeah, or whatever. All right, but first, our headlines.
Yes.
Rookie card, ink of baseball icons, Ruth memorabilia among SCP Auctions headliners. Some of the hobby's best post-war autographed baseball cards are among hundreds of items expected to find new homes. The SCP Auctions is offering a 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle with a PSA DNA 10 autograph grade and a signed copy of Roberto Clemente's 1955 Topps rookie card. These are the headliners among a collection of dozens of impressive signed cards. What else? The company spring premiere also includes a signed 1952 Topps Willie Mayssigned with a 9 autograph grade. The auction features items from a variety of categories, including trading cards, used items, rare historic photos, autographs, and other memorabilia. But why am I reading the headlines? Because Mike is going to be on, right?
No, it's nice, though.
No. So for more information, we're going to bring Mike Keys in to talk about the whole thing. But for more information, you can go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. Yeah. Sports Collectors Daily. Absolutely. All right, let's bring in our first guest. Good guy, John Velgos from Cabrella Shipping. I don't like the fact, Rico, that he has a freaking Cubs shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, that's because he weeps a lot with the Cubs, like we are with the Red Sox.
John, wouldn't you just love to see a Cubs-Red Sox World Series?
That would be probably the best thing that could ever happen. It would be the two of the most iconic teams in the sport going after, and there'd be nothing better.
And the ballparks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be great. Unfortunately, both teams kind of sucked this year, but we'll put that aside. Anyways, tell us about Cabrella Shipping. It's a nice concept for collectors to explain how it all works.
Yeah, no, thanks. So essentially what we did is we created this product to specifically insure sports cards, trading cards, and collectibles while in transit. And so one of the biggest things that I would hear is, collectors, bulk submitters, breakers, everyone gets nervous when they don't have anything showing the proof of value of a card. So for example, if you're a breaker, you don't own any of those cards. As soon as you open those cards up, you don't own them anymore. The people who purchase spots in the break, they're the ones who own them. And so they have to try to come up with a value because there's no value associated with the cards because people just buy those spots in the breaks. So what we're able to do is we're able to allow breakers, auction houses, bulk submitters, a way to insure their cards when there hasn't been any sales on those cards yet. And then also we obviously insure cards after they've been sold, but where this really fits is for those unsold cards. So for example, auction houses, when those cards are being shipped to the auction houses, again, there's no value. They've not been sold yet. And so this is a great way for, let's say, customers of auction houses to be able to insure their shipments at what their value should be, versus if you have a loss with the carrier, you're not going to get anything because they're not going to accept eBay screenshots or other auction houses screenshots, whatever the case may be. They're going to say, what did it sell for? And you're going to say, well, it didn't sell yet. And so in probably most collectors, I know a lot of hobby shops do it for the bulk submitters. But when you're sending, again, something to PSA, Beckett, CSG, all the grading card companies, they're not sold yet. There's no sales value attached to them. So we can insure those cards at the market raw value. And then on the way back, we can insure them at what they think they're going to grade out at. So again, we allow this because if you talk to anyone within the industry, when they're sending something that hasn't been sold, they're scared, right? A lot of people may not know how to ship correctly. And so we offer the ability for them to insure it. And if it's not a very big volume customer, we can also allow them to create shipping labels from our website to be able to then insure their products cheaper than what they can get from the carriers directly themselves.
All right, so this may be a silly question. So I'm a collector, and I'm going to submit something to SCP Auctions. So I would call you and insure my my Babe Ruth card so that you're covering the insurance from point A to point B to SCP. Once the card is sold, all right, they auction the card off, and Rico wins the card. Can SCP insure that card with you to get it to Rico?
Or the buyer.
Or the buyer? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So what a lot of auction houses do, and not sure if this is how Mike's SCP does it, but a lot of the times they want to control the process as much as possible. So essentially, they'll give a shipping label to their customers to make it really easy to ship to them. So then we can insure it at that leg, and then once it sells at SCP, we would then insure it at that point as well.
Gotcha.
And the really good thing that what we do is, we insure for loss and damage, but more importantly, we insure when, let's call it porch piracy. That's probably the biggest things right now. There are actually individuals that will follow the carriers, UPS, FedEx, USPS. They'll follow those trucks into neighborhoods, and they'll see all the packages, and then they'll just pick them up straight up off the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Porch pirates.
This policy, porch pirates. So this policy protects against that, because the biggest thing a carrier is going to say is, we delivered the package.
Very.
Because
right.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Can I say, get into it a little bit? No, I think it's critical. That's not really, you have to do it.
Absolutely.
If you don't do it, it's silly. An example, like I ship my golf clubs to Florida, right? And can you say the company?
Yeah.
Shipsticks, okay? And they insure for nothing. This is them. It's okay, but even if they charge me something,
it's worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. They're $1,000. Now my clubs are worth about $100.
Well,
I was hoping that somebody would take
No,
them.
but hold on. Before we let you go, John, Rico's making a good point. Does it have to be a collectible? I mean, if I want to ship a cigar humidor to my brother-in-law in California, and I paid some money for it, can I insure that to ship, or does it have to be a collectible?
No, so the collectible, let's call it our collectibles insurance product, is something we just created.
Okay.
But we've been in business for the past 9 years. And so we insure everything underneath the sun, from jewelry, luxury goods.
You answered the question.
If you ship it, we can insure it.
All right, what is your website address?
It's www.cabrella.com.
Fantastic
Feel
concept.
free to check it out.
Great concept, John.
Absolutely.
Wishing you the best, and we're
Very
going to talk to you down the road.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys.
John, take care, John.
John Velgos from Cabrella. It's a good concept.
No, really. I mean, I would.
Right.
Especially if my card is really worth something, and I have to ship it.
Your
got
card,
it.
Your card is worth a lot.
No, not my card.
No, you said
card.
no. You said your card.
Which one?
The
No,
$10,000
ball.
one.
No, the one with Babe Ruth and me on.
That's another one. All right, let's bring in our next guest. He's going to be with us for the bulk of the show. Mike Keys from SCP Auctions. Mike,
Hey,
you're not
Mike.
going to believe this. This is the God's honest truth. We've talked about this in the past. Do you know that out there in collectibles world, there is a baseball that is circulating? It's probably owned by somebody now. We have seen it, PSA, DNA, authenticated, signed by one Babe Ruth and Rico Petrocelli.
I told the guy, I says, you got Babe Ruth on there. What are you crazy?
Some-
You're gonna
some
ruin this
guy-
place. He says, I don't care.
How many years ago was that?
4 or 5 more, maybe more. I don't even know.
Some guy had a Babe Ruth signed ball, walked up to
I
Rico and
see
said,
this
you
sick.
are my favorite player. Will you sign this? And Rico saying, you don't want me to sign this.
Babe Ruth. What are you kidding?
God's honest truth. Isn't that unbelievable?
The worth went down about 500,000.
Anyway, Mike
It's
Keys.
priceless now. Priceless.
Really. Mike Keys from SCP Auction. Mike, first of all, why don't you tell our viewers and listeners what your role is at SCP?
So I'm the COO at SCP Auctions. Been with them since 2019, and we're putting on a really, really outstanding sale right now. Concludes on April 29th at 7 p.m.
I mean, I went onto the site, and I really want to address some of the items that you have, starting with the 55 Topps Clemente. Tell us about that.
It's a really gorgeous, clean copy. There's only 6 graded higher on the PSA Pop Report. You don't see a lot of signed Clemente memorabilia in the hobby in general, let alone his trading cards. So, this card it's beautiful. We expect it to bring, big dollars, and we're excited to offer that among many other autographed rookie Hall of Famers and stars in this sale.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because this guy I really liked. Steve Sax. You have some memorabilia from him. Steve, I always thought he was a classy guy, a good ball player. And, he had that problem throwing for a while.
Yeah.
And another thing is, he lost his son in a, what was it? A
Training flight crash.
Training flight, yeah. And,
Yep.
he's a terrific guy. I mean, a good ball player, and I'm glad to see that he's got some stuff out there.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about some of his items?
Sure. So first of all, class act. What a joy to work with him. It's
guy.
been a privilege to handle his collection. The tragedy of his son, John, a few years back in that helicopter accident down here in Camp Pendleton. It's awful. A portion of the proceeds of all of this collection are going to go to the Captain John Sax Foundation that Steve put together. But again, what a class act. Amazing to work with him. 2 of the key items are his 81 and 88 World Series championship rings. Wow. We expect those to do really well. They are in immaculate condition. You can see the photographs on the site. And among many other game used bats, jerseys, things of that nature. It's just a pretty awesome collection. Some autographed all-star balls, all the all-star games he participated in during his career. And my favorite piece is the game-worn jersey that he wore while on deck during Kirk Gibson's big home run in the
Very
ABA
cool.
series.
Very
So
cool.
that's a really, really cool piece.
Nice.
Hey, Rick, do you have? You still have your rings, your World Series rings?
Yes, I do.
You have 67 and 75. You have 'em?
Yeah.
Let me ask. This is a silly question, but the winners get a bigger. Is the ring bigger for the champs than?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, the winning rings they're absolutely beautiful, and they're worth a lot. And so I had the 67. I have an all-star ring that Mr. Yorkie gave us, pure gold.
Really?
With bases, diamonds on the bases, and in the middle of the pitcher's mound. Beautiful ring. And I'll take $500,000 for it, but no.
Will you consider leaving it to me?
Yeah. No. And then 75 was nice. The 75 ring was nice. It was
Big difference
big
in the
red
67,
machine.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're nice. They're beautiful.
Hey, Mike, I want to ask you about, I'm looking at some of the auction items, and we're going to get into them, but a lot of vintage stuff. Are you guys, is it strictly vintage, or do you have some modern or ultra-modern items in there?
No, we've got some modern memorabilia. Of course, we've got some game-worn jerseys from, Pau Gasol in the championship Lakers seasons there.
Very
Derek
cool.
Fisher championship finals jerseys. We also have a card that's, I don't have it in front of me. It's signed by Jordan, Kobe, Carmelo, and LeBron, and that's one of our top 25 lots. It's a really nice card. It's graded 9.5 by Beckett. So yeah, of course, we handle the whole gamut of memorabilia and trading cards from the beginning of time until now. So we also have in terms of vintage, we've got vintage cards, we've got vintage game worn stuff, we've got vintage game used bats, we've modern game used bats, we've got modern jerseys. So yeah, the whole gamut.
Hey, Mike, what determines? Obviously, placement in a catalog is hugely important. What determines the placement in a catalog? For instance, like your number one lot or your top 10 lots. Is it the value, or is it what you think is going to attract collectors to look? How does that all work?
Yeah, so there's so many different variables. Sometimes it's a consignor's number one wish is to be top 10 in the catalog, and of course the value and the significance of the item has to warrant that decision for us. But value, scarcity, rarity, the attention it might grab. Also, we've got some really great items that came in 2 days before we launched our auction that just weren't going to be able to get into the catalog. We got a Joe Jackson bat. We got a DiMaggio bat. We got some really nice Hall of Fame. We got Spawn's Hall of Fame ring.
Very cool.
So, certain things come in late that would probably go in a catalog. They just come in too late. Yeah. But yeah, so many different variables. Some guys don't even care about the catalog. But we usually make those decisions based on, historic significance, scarcity, value, of course, and of course the PR aspect of it all.
Awesome.
It's going to bring the most eyeballs to the sale.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Mike Keys from SCP is in the house. He's going to spend another good part of the show with us. We've got a lot to talk about. This is a great auction. Great auction.
I want to find out talk a little bit about the 51 Bowman.
So do I.
Arguments over who's the rookie.
That's a great one. I own that card, and it aggravates me.
Yeah.
Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Number 6 on the roster, but number 6 in our hearts. Number 1 in our hearts. On deck with
classic.
Rico Petrocelli.
All right, it is time for our segment, On Deck with Rico, brought to us by a good friend, Brian Dwyer, and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. All right, this week's question was submitted by a gentleman. I kind of laughed when I saw this.
Yeah,
Mike, you get every week, Mike, a listener or viewer submits a question. They get a free Great American. No, that's the polo shirt. They get the sheet. So this was submitted by a gentleman. His name is Bill Dixon.
7 years old.
You
won't give me another
It's a question and a question. It says, Rico, with the Red Sox being so bad, what do you think of them moving you back to shortstop and moving Kiki Hernandez to center? But seriously, though, what are your thoughts on the Red Sox infield? Well, I want to hear this.
No, I mean, it's not great.
No, listen, can you be unbiased?
Well, Kiki Hernandez shouldn't be at shortstop. He's an outfielder and a very good outfielder, but I know they have other people there that they like. But you know what? Shortstop and second are very important. To me, the catcher is the number one most important guy. But they've got to make that double play to get out of the inning. If they don't, now the pitcher throws probably, who knows, another 7, 8 pitches, 10 pitches, maybe gets in more trouble. So the two guys there, if they can make those good plays, tough double plays, you can get by.
Your first baseman sucks too.
Yeah, defensively they're not a great team in the infield, obviously.
And Devers is only
3 errors.
Devers is not a great third baseman either.
No, he's not. He's not bad, but he's not great. He makes some real good plays. Then he'll throw a ball away or boot a ball. But no, the middle infield is really. Listen, I'll love to take over now for. I'll take the minimum $750,000. You know what? In 1967, it goes way back. The whole team plus the coaches and managers, The payroll was 860,000.
Imagine that, Mike.
So now the rookies get
860,000.
750,000. But
all right,
hey,
so Bill Dixon, good question. We will text me with your address, and we will get a T-shirt in the mail to you. All right, let's talk about that 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle card. Why don't you tell us about it, and then let's have a little discussion on it, because that really aggravates me.
Sure. So it's one of our, it's one of my most favorite offerings in this sale. It's one of the most beautiful Mantle autos I've seen come across my desk. It's on his true rookie card, which I'm sure is what we're going to discuss in just a second. Now the card isn't, it's just graded authentic, but the autograph's graded a 10. Beautiful auto. There's only, I think, less than 27 that have autographs on them. And I think there's only 5 that are dual graded by PSA. So really rare card. And it's on his true rookie. So you don't see those every day. And it's really one of the nicest Mantle autographs I've ever seen on any medium.
you mentioned on one of the shows a couple of weeks ago when I was on with you that the 52 Mantle was a Topps All-Star, really a Topps, because Topps had made an All-Star rookie card. It has a little trophy on it. I'm on it.
Yeah, but that wasn't a 52.
No. I'm saying, but I thought you said that there was a top. It was a
No,
Topps
I have
rookie.
53. I have a 53 Topps, Mike, signed by Mantle.
Nice card.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card. He signed it in late 50s, early 60s, but it's signed in pen. But let's talk about the 51 Bowman. You know, I bought one several years ago with the hope that card was really going to explode and escalate. And it has gone up, but it has gotten nowhere near the traction that I thought it was going to get. And it is the true rookie card. So I've asked this question to many, many auctioneers in the past. Why does the 52 Bowman get the love and the 51 Bowman, 52 Topps get the love and the 51 Bowman doesn't?
So I think part of it is the lore of the 52 Topps, those high numbers that Topps ended up kind of discarding, and they're at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know if you're familiar with that story. So, you know, the number 311 is one of the high numbers in that series. And so for that reason, not alone, but that's one of the reasons that it's more desirable, and I think there's just less in circulation. It is the most iconic, possibly, sports card in the entire hobby, and you know that's one of the reasons is the scarcity and the story behind it all. The 51 Bowman is his true rookie card, so if you're looking for a true rookie, you're going to want to collect that 51 Bowman. I also think the Topps product and the Topps brand name also is, it's an icon in sports card.
Well, aesthetically, aesthetically, the 52 Topps is more appealing aesthetically.
Yeah, but
versus the 51.
Why? Now you said why. Why don't they accept it? Who is it that really won't accept it? Is it the auction houses? Is it the
supply and demand?
Who? It's just that they don't seem to want to say
supply and demand.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't understand it, but that's the way it is.
Aggravating. All right, let's talk
the way it is.
Yeah, no, you're right. So you also have, if I recall, you've got a 54 Topps Aaron rookie card. Tell us about that one. That's another auto card.
Yeah, that's signed. There's over 50 autographed, graded rookies, Hall of Famers, and stars. Aaron's one of them. It's his rookie card. It's a 9 autograph. So another really big time offering in terms of autographed trading cards in this sale. It's a beautiful card. We're hoping that it achieves a big number, just like all these other high end autographed cards as well. But really great collection came through our door, and some of them were ungraded when we received them, and so a lot of this stuff's fresh to the hobby as well. That 54 Aaron's not one of the ones that's fresh to the hobby, but it's part of this whole collection of autographed cards that we're offering.
You got probably the best. It's arguably the best player ever to play in the major leagues, Willie Mays. And to me, I saw him. I played against him spring training, all-star. he he was. I mean, Ruth is, of course, iconic, but
He wasn't that big either, was he?
no, he was 5'11", 180 pounds. He was strong as a bull. But I can't figure this out. I mean, why isn't there more interest?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, Mays does get a lot of love, but there's a but here. It's again, he's not at that pinnacle, the top of the charts. Why?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. We were talking about this in the office the other day. Our VP of consignments, Brandon Wells, is a big Giants fan. And he's talking about how Mays is the best ever. And, I don't disagree at all. The problem is he's not on the Yankees. He wasn't on the Yankees.
Right.
And I think if you plug him in on one of those Yankees teams where they won a bunch of World Series, he's going to be legendary status.
Good point.
He already is a legend, but I think you put him on the Yankees, he's going to have a bigger name than Mantle, possibly a bigger name than Ruth, potentially, because he'll have those World Series under his belt. I don't think that he would, if anything, he probably would have helped them win more championships if he was on one of those rosters.
He was on the New York Giants for a while, and of course they moved out to San Francisco.
I'm going to ask you a question.
That's some great teams there.
I'm going to ask you a question. I know that you had a nice relationship with him.
Yeah.
But I've read that both Willie Mays and Hank Aaron could have played for the Red Sox.
Yes.
And they passed on him because of their color. Is that true?
This is a little longer story than that. I mean, both of them tried out in the Red Sox, and some say that it was just a thing, because they were getting a lot of criticism from the legislature in Boston and, of course, the big leagues, the commissioner's office. And so they went through this so that they could say, hey, we...
we gave them the opportunity.
We gave them the opportunity, but,
wow.
they really...
They weren't
we
interested.
couldn't use it, yeah. So,
Unbelievable. We had chatted...
that's definitely a factor as well. The, of course, the time and place and history, unfortunately.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt. We're chatting with Mike Keys from SCP Auction. Mike, let's switch gears for a minute and let's talk about the modern market. Is the modern market softening a little bit?
I mean, I think it has. All you got to do is look at the numbers and you look at the volume of modern stuff that's floating around out there. I don't know if it's become saturated or what, but there's certainly some really great blue chip modern stuff still out there floating around. But I just think that it's just been so heavily consumed, and with the correlation to stock markets, NFTs and things like that. I think there was a lot of modern trading going on in conjunction with all of that Bitcoin and the way the market was fluctuating. And now that's down right now, I think that it's trending in the same direction. And I think we had this conversation last time I was on, Tom. The vintage market is always going to be stronger, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
It's kind of just it's a solid rock foundation. Modern stuff's great. There is some great blue chip modern that's still doing phenomenal. You look at modern basketball, still killing it. There's still some big numbers coming out, and modern football as well. So anything with Trout or Otani right now, I would collect that stuff, and not just from a collecting standpoint, just because I'm a fan, but also I think that there is some upside still in a lot of this modern stuff. You just got to buy the right products, the national treasures and the higher end products, and make sure that you're getting them graded in those high grade slabs, and just hold them.
Wonder who's buying the moderns? Are the younger collectors mostly, or you think some of the vintage collectors took a chance with some of these
Dipping
guys?
their toe in. Yeah, that's a good question.
Combination of it all there. I think that certainly the younger generations have collected a lot of the modern stuff because initially it was more affordable, and it still kind of is more affordable. If you're just the guys that are buying breaks are taking a chance, kind of like buying a lotto ticket or something. Seem to be a younger generation, but certainly there's some guys who have some really robust vintage collections who have dabbled in the modern market as well. Collecting is fun, right? And it's not all about dollars and cents all the time. It's a fun thing to do. And if you're following the game now, you want to pick up some great stuff from some of the modern greats as well.
Yeah.
You know, we're watching some phenomenal things happen in the game right now with like I said, Trout and Ohtani in the World Baseball Classics. Like, who wouldn't want a cool, you know, Trout card or Ohtani card right now? I mean, those guys are really amazing to watch. Sorry, I'm biased. I'm talking about
that's fine.
They're
You
both
kidding?
great players.
Hey, you know, Mike, there's one here that jumps out at me, Lot 12, March 4th, 1946, Jackie Robinson, earliest and first ever original photograph in organized baseball taken on the first day of spring training with the Montreal Royals. It's a Type 1 PSA DNA authenticated, man. Tell us about that bad boy.
Oh, massive, massive piece. I love anything Jackie Robinson, but I love even more anything, you know, rookie or rookie season Jackie. And that photograph is beautiful. There's two of them. I think 12 and 13 are both similar. He's wearing his Montreal uniform, but it's right before he got called up. And beautiful photograph. I think both those photos are going to exceed the $50,000 mark if you're talking dollars and cents. But if you're just a collector, I mean, this is history, right? And it's baseball history, it's social justice history. There's so many different variables when you talk about Jackie and what he did for the game of baseball. He's, in my opinion, you know, you said Willie Mays is one of the best baseball players ever. I think Jackie's one of the most athletic baseball players ever to play the game. It's fun to watch him. And I, you know, wish there was more footage of him playing, right? I mean, he was just outstanding athlete. So, but that photograph is phenomenal. So both those photos are phenomenal.
Did you ever see him
I had
play?
the honor of meeting him.
Oh, you did?
Oh, geez. At an event, and just class guy. And he really fought for, and he kept mentioning it about the black managers, having more black managers in the game.
When you think of that, there are three guys that stick out that really led the cause. Mm-hmm. Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Bill Russell. Those three athletes really
absolutely
they did a phenomenal job. Hey, Mike, we got a few minutes left. Memorabilia. It seems as though memorabilia over the last year or two has really, I'm talking good quality vintage memorabilia, has really picked up a head of steam. True?
100%. I guess if you want to call Michael Jordan vintage now too,
right?
You know, a pair of his sneakers from the '98 finals sold for $2.2 million last week at Sotheby's. So, memorabilia has really, you know, for the right stuff, it has really taken off. You know, I have a client, you know, that was looking for a Ruth gamer, and those are very hard to find. And I said the next one that comes to market is going to be, I think, well over 10 million.
Unbelievable.
The last one sold in 2021, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, for 6.6. So, you know, I think, what's that?
No, I was going to say that was a bargain.
That's like, really?
No, it's insane. You know, vintage game worn stuff in particular is doing real well. And then you mentioned the Jackie photo. I think you see some Type 1 photographs starting to just go to the moon. The Paul Thompson Babe Ruth photo we sold last auction, record for any Paul Thompson photo, any Ruth photo, went for $168,000.
That's unbelievable.
These numbers they're mind-boggling, and if you look at rarity, scarcity, and just overall just collectability, you know, when you look at memorabilia, especially game-worn stuff and original photos that just have really low population significance to them, you're not going to see that in cardboard. It's a whole different game. It's a whole different echelon of just collecting. It's the true rare stuff that these guys have. You know, you look at game used bats, the guys held them. The game worn jerseys, they wore these in game, in action, sometimes in world championship games and scenarios. So, you know, I think from a collectability standpoint, it's just way more important.
Fantastic.
Mike, we get a lot of collectors that watch and listen. What advice do you have to them for this year, you know, going forward? What they should look for, or, you know, What's your opinion on it?
We got about a minute left, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just make it brief. And this is what I tell every client is collect what you love, and the rest will take care of itself. If you're collecting guys who you love to watch, then you're going to be happy, whether you're making an investment or not. It's an investment in what you love. I'm a Lakers fan. I will collect Lakers players. I'll collect the D'Angelo Russell pair of sneakers, right? And because he's on the Lakers right now, it's something I love. Whether it takes off and there's a huge investment aspect of it in the future, great. But if I'm talking about pure investment, I would always steer my clients toward blue chip vintage. I mean, that stuff never fails. So
your website address?
www.scpauctions.com. Our auction concludes April 29th at 7 p.m. It's the 2023 spring premiere. And call us. Our customer service is second to none. Email us. We will get back to you with any questions you have about any of the lots.
Mike Keys, thanks a lot for coming aboard. Make sure you say hi to Mr. Kohler for us. And
absolutely.
Wishing you guys the best.
Yeah. Have a great day.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Take care.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the one, the only, our good pal, Joe Orlando, Executive Vice President of Heritage Auctions, former President of PSA, Chairman of the Board of Collectors Universe, on the Board of Directors for the United Petroleum Company. No, I'm just kidding. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
They are prized possessions, and you need a place to store them that is safe and secure. The eBay Vault is exactly that. An insured, climate-controlled facility with state-of-the-art security that guards your valuable collection around the clock. Your Vault account is protected by two-step verification and easily accessible through eBay Collection. And everything stored in the eBay Vault is backed by Authenticity Guarantee. Buying and selling is a seamless experience. When you buy an eligible card on eBay, it can be sent directly to the eBay Vault at checkout. Or, if it's already in the eBay Vault, you can just keep it there. And selling from the eBay Vault is just as easy. Every card in the vault has been expertly inspected, detailed, and photographed, so you can quickly sell it with a pre-populated listing. And if your buyer chooses to withdraw their card from the eBay Vault, we handle packing, shipping, and insurance. And same goes for you. If you want that rare rookie card in your hands, you can have it shipped to you at any time. Collect like a pro with the eBay Vault.
Well, the eBay Vault is climate-controlled, insured, and protected with 24-hour security. Soon, you'll be able to send cards already in your collection directly to the eBay Vault. They will take high-quality photos of the front and back of the card and document all the details for your viewing pleasure and to make the listing to sell process seamless.
You're going to see the look on Orlando's face watching you read. It's hysterical. Joe, wait till the next one, Joe. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay. Rico.
Oh, no. Let's talk about our friend Charlie Perino and JRI Cards.
Well, all right. That's what I'm doing. Rico, if you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern and vintage cards, you got to check out JRI Cards. Our paisan, Charlie the Iron Ripper Perino, along with Money Marco, Dollar Girls, and the JRI gang, give you the chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax or cello pack of your favorite sport or non-sport. Who knows? You may wind up with a Mantle, Jordan, a Gretzky, a Brady, or even a Tom Zappala.
No, or Petrocelli. It's easy. You buy in, Charlie opens the pack, and you get a pack of fresh cards. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JRR Cards will even have it graded for you on the house.
Yeah.
Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, and USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card-pulling show on the internet.
Wow.
Charlie, I'm sorry, Charlie. We should be paying you. Charlie and his staff make it fun, entertaining, and enjoyable with his collection of hats, sound effects, and yes, you may even see him wearing a leather helmet from Rico Petrocelli's days playing for Newt Rockney, and you will love it. And let's not forget that JRI donates a part of their proceeds to various charities, so check out their charity breaks. Go to jricards.com for more information, and you will be digging up cardboard treasures.
But it says on the house.
Yeah, that means they'll pay
What's
for it.
on the
They'll
house?
pick up the tab.
Huh? Well, you got to go on the house to do that?
No, they'll pay them.
Oh.
All right, let's bring in our good friend from Heritage Auctions, Executive Vice President. Joe, you got to understand, when he reads, it's like, when he's reading anything out loud, it's like rolling the dice. You do understand that, right?
I want to, set the record straight here. I was not laughing at Rico's reading. I was thinking to myself, on a bad day, could I put my children in the eBay vault? It's climate controlled with good security. I was listening to Rico list off all those things, and I'm thinking maybe it could be an option. I don't know.
Oh, God.
Let's talk to them about that.
Joe Orlando, Executive Vice President, Heritage Auctions, obviously former president of PSA and chairman of Collectible, whatever the name of that company. I don't even know what the name of the company is. Collectors. It's Collectors now, right? And that's the name of it. Anyway, Joe, you guys have a blockbuster auction that's already started that ends on May 26th, correct?
No, actually, it goes May 11th, 12th, and 13th. Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you then.
That's good.
Explain to me how this works. So I have a card in that auction, and people are already bidding on it. How does that work? I'm a little slow. Will you explain this to me?
Okay, let's go. We'll start here. So what we do is we actually start the auction weeks in advance. So it gives people the opportunity to put in bids because, as you know, you're experienced hobby guy, Tom, there's an extended bidding period.
Correct. Okay.
In order to qualify to get into that extended bidding period, you have to have at least one bid in on all the items that you'd like to participate on. So by having it, by giving people, weeks before, gives them time to think, prepare, strategize, whatever they want to do. And then when those 3 sessions close, 11th, 12th, and 13th, gives them plenty of time to get in those qualifying bids.
Because, by the way, my wife is very, very pleased with the bidding so far. I just thought I'd throw that out.
I have a question. Joe, can a person who gives you the item, can they take it out in the middle of the auction, the bidding? In other words, let's say there's
something happens and he doesn't.
Whatever it is.
Can you pull it in?
You could do that, but then we would sick Saul Goodman, the attorney.
Oh, jeez. Well, what happens if the bid is really low?
Tough. That's your problem. You're rolling the dice.
Oh, okay.
You're rolling the dice.
All right. Yeah. No, that's just one to ask.
Joe, what do you, off the top of your head, I know you don't have stuff in front of you. Some of the other items in the auction, off the top of your head, because I know you guys have a zillion items that come through.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like most of our major catalog auctions. There's a little bit of everything. There's an incredible 52 Topps collection. A lot of these cards originated from the Lionel Carter collection, which he was a pioneer in the hobby and sold off his collection. I think it was about maybe 12, 15
years.
Yeah,
I bought a couple of his T206s.
We did. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are dozens of high-grade 52 Topps, 9s. There's even several 10s in the auction. You know how tough those are. So it's an incredible opportunity for someone who wants to upgrade or actually start a high-grade 52 Topps collection. We have a lot of vintage unopened. We have this incredible collection of exhibit cards. They're autographed exhibit cards, including a signed Gehrig rookie, which is extraordinary. 1925 exhibit.
I mean, how many of those things exist?
There's only a handful that are autographed, so that it's a very, very sought after card. We have a really interesting array of tickets from all the way. It's like 100-year span of tickets, practically going back to the Black Sox. World Series, all the way through, Michael Jordan's debut, Michael Jordan's title game in the NCAA finals, the Tom Brady's first Super Bowl autographed. I mean, there's just a little bit of everything. I mean, it makes collectors wish they had a little bit more money lying aside to bid, but there's quite a diverse, menu of stuff this time around.
That's what happens when you go on their site. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I want to bid on this. I want to bid on this. I want to bid on this, but I can't afford to bid on this, this, and this. It's like, I mean, it's just amazing. It's like one after another, one after another. Joe, I have a question regarding a collection that I have that, as you know, and you and I have talked off the year. I'm in the process of kind of downsizing my collection for a lot of reasons, other than I'd rather downsize it and then buy a few higher end items. I have a collection of Red Sox not Red Sox, Boston, starting with the Boston Americans. I have one program from every year of their existence, starting in 1901, and the first 25 or 30 of them are, in fact, scored. And I've been researching the particular games. Like, for instance, this particular game in 1901, Cy Young was the winning pitcher. There was only 1,900 people that I went on Baseball Reference, got all that information. Am I better off, because I am going to be, getting rid of that at some point in time. Am I better off selling them in lots of 2, 3, 4, sell the whole thing off? No, I'm serious.
I'm serious. It's the longest question I've ever heard in my life.
What would you recommend for something like that?
Jeez.
Yeah, I would recommend in a situation like that, if there are programs, scorecards that relate to a really, really important moment in sports history, something, individual accomplishment, team accomplishment, something that really stands out, I would separate those out as an individual lot. For the most part, though, I would lot them up because it's a very specific collector that you're targeting, as someone who's looking to sort of build a collection or fill in some holes there. So unless it's the same thing with like a ticket, for example.
Right.
If the ticket pertains to a really memorable moment in sports history, then that's sort of a standalone item. If it's sort of a generic ticket, nothing really special happened, then it would be more of a lot.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. And the only I'm keeping 13 of them, and you know what those 13 are. The only ones I'm keeping is I put the arm on Mr. Petrocelli, and you signed every book, every program book from every year you played.
You're going to keep those?
I'm going to keep those. That's what I'm keeping.
The other ones, don't you think the other ones are worth
well, I'll get rid of those at some point. Anyways, Joe, let's talk about some of the shows that are going on these days are off the charts. Have you been attending any of them?
I have not been to any real recent shows, but our team has been, as usual, you know how deep our team goes. I mean, we are all over the place, all over the country at a lot of these shows. And I think the activity overall has been pretty strong.
Now, you're going to be at the National, I'm assuming, with the Heritage crew?
Of course, yeah. No, looking forward to that very much. I think everyone loved the Chicago venue, so it's going to be exciting times there.
And, I know John Brogy's done a great job over the years, and this is his exit with Joe Drellick taking over. We've talked about it on the air with Joe after this year. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, Joe's pretty, he's pretty, what's the word? He's got some really good ideas coming down the pike.
Yeah, I think the industry as a whole is excited for someone like Joe to come in because he's a lifetime hobbyist. Like, he understands the psychology of the collector, what the attendees are looking for, what the dealers are looking for, the auction houses are looking for. So I think people are excited to see what Joe will do with it. And people are interested to see how, as we look forward, if it's a similar rotation in terms of cities and venues, or if it becomes more of a standardized thing. But I think people feel like it's in very good hands with Joe.
We are chatting with Joe Orlando, Executive Vice President of Heritage Auctions. Hey, by the way, a programming note. If you notice my hat this week, this is an official Savannah Bananas hat. And next week, special guest, we're going to have some fun with her. Rico will be on with us, along with Danny Wolkin from Memory Lane. Jesse Cole, the owner of the Savannah Bananas, is going to be joining us. For those of you that don't know, it's a fun team to watch. I basically equate them. They are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
Funny guys, very talented, and they're a lot of fun. So Jesse will be joining us next week.
That'll be nice.
Joe, we got a couple of minutes left. So you've got a big auction coming now. When's your next auction? I mean, take us through your auction schedule.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing what I would characterize as a larger auction every month, basically. And we also have our weekly. So you mentioned the National coming up. So our next platinum sale, which is kind of the sale that has the greatest cachet, if you will, that'll happen in August, and we'll have a great display. Of course, you've come by the booth many times before. We'll have an incredible display put on, as we always do, of a lot of those items that will be featured in the platinum sale in August. But between now and then, we're wrapping up a showcase in April. We've got that blockbuster auction in May coming up. We have another one in June, another one in July.
Doesn't end.
Of course, the platinum sale in August. And by the way, we have weekly sales. So there are sort of levels for all different types of items. But yeah, the hamster wheel is real. It's, lot of collectibles moving through the Heritage office.
We got about a minute.
Yeah, internationally, is Heritage doing anything internationally in some of these other countries?
Yeah, well, the beauty of, I think, it being associated with Heritage is because we have so many other verticals. I mean, we're just sports, but we have dozens of other verticals.
All of that,
For bones, the jewelry, the comic books.
Wow.
And so we have an international presence in a lot of these other verticals, which in turn helps us in sports because our customers, who are global customers, can reach out to their local offices and people that they can, meet in person and do business with us, overseas. So. We definitely have a very large international presence.
Joe, last question. Are you liking it? How are you liking your new experience?
I love it. It's been a lot of fun. You guys know it's a great team of people over there at Heritage. So it's been fun. It's been rewarding. It's nice to be on this side of it, this side of the business. It's just, for someone like myself that really enjoys the material and enjoys the relationships and the people, it's the perfect place to be.
Fantastic.
Great. We're happy for you.
HA.com, is that the website? HA.com. Go and bid. I'm not going to tell you to bid on the Ty Cobb Green PSA 3 card, but, if you want, feel free. I'm just kidding. With that being said, Joe, say hi to all the guys at Heritage.
Yeah.
And Rico,
Thanks,
good to be back with you, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Good to be back.
Good to be back. Good to be anywhere.
First time we've been back together for 3 months. We've been in Florida.
Yeah.
And to our viewers and listeners, as always, you guys have been absolutely incredible with the support. We're dumbfounded, to be honest with you. It's like shocking, but we love it. With that being said,
sure.
Happy collecting.
Take care.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.